Dear viewers, a few months ago, a tragic news surfaced in the state of Madhya Pradesh. It was regarding the death of 14 children. The cause of death was kidney failure, and the unsettling reason for this was consumption of cough syrup made in India. Post the outrage, the manufacturing facility was sealed and the owner arrested. But this was no isolated incident. In the recent years, Indian drug manufacturers have been linked to similar casualties abroad from Africa to Central Asia. Such incidents have been a dent to the so-called pharmacy of the world, a claim that India has spent decades to build. Indian companies supply affordable medicines to millions across geographies. Cost efficiency and scale have been our calling cards. Yet, where we keep failing is the compliance and regulatory oversight. Regulators are finally acknowledging this, and after years of soft nudges, the Indian pharma industry is now being pushed for a regulatory reset. The Drugs Controller General of India has announced the enforcement of schedule norms from January 1st, 2026. On paper, Schedule M is not revolutionary. It simply lays down the bare minimum manufacturing standards that any drug factory should follow. The idea is to ensure that patient safety is not left to chance. More importantly, these norms align Indian manufacturing standards with global benchmarks. For an industry with global aspirations, this order was long overdue. You see, India has over 10,000 manufacturing units. Most of these are small and medium enterprises that came into existence and flourished when regulations were lighter. With Schedule M deadline approaching, most of these entities are struggling to upgrade infrastructure or to raise the capital required to comply. As per media reports, less than 4,000 drug makers may meet the Schedule M requirements in time. In other words, more than 60% of India's manufacturing base faces an existential crisis. There are obvious short-term risks. The drug shortages are a real possibility, and at least in certain categories. Prices could see upward pressure. But from a long-term lens, Schedule M implementation marks a strong structural shift for domestic pharma. You see, Indian pharma manufacturing industry has been highly fragmented and competitive. Schedule M changes that equation. Compliance becomes a moat, and as weaker players exit or are forced to scale down, businesses will naturally gravitate towards the ones that are compliant and with the balance sheet strength, systems, and scale to meet the new standards. Consolidation may finally arrive, and for compliant manufacturers, this could lead to gaining market share, improved capacity utilization, and potentially better margins. This is where select contract manufacturers come into focus. Akums Drugs and Pharmaceuticals stands out as the largest CDMO in Indian market with roughly 30% share of outsourced manufacturing for domestic pharma companies. 26 of the top 30 Indian pharma firms are its clients. While India and other developing markets remain core, Akums has been steadily preparing for regulated markets, particularly Europe, by getting its facilities approved. As Schedule M enforcement tightens, Akums is well placed to absorb incremental business. Higher volumes, better capacity utilization, and operating leverage could quietly reshape its profit profile. Innova Captech is another name worth tracking. Again a CDMO and branded generics player, it works with 14 of India's top 15 pharma companies. Over 70% of its revenue comes from the domestic market, and it claims the third largest finished tablet and capsule manufacturing capacity in the country. The management has articulated the ambition to double revenues over 3 years while gradually increasing exposure to the regulated markets. In a post-Schedule M world, that ambition may find a more supportive environment. Windless Biotech is third on my watch list. Among the top 5 domestic formulation CDMOs by revenue, Windless serves 15 of the top 20 Indian pharma companies. It has bigger contribution from chronic and subchronic therapies, segments that are expected to grow at better rate within Indian pharma space. It owns intellectual property rights for formulation technology of 99% of the products sold by it, helping with better control and client stickiness. While exports are currently a small part of the mix, the company is steadily exploring emerging and semi-regulated markets as well. Please note that no view is implied on any of the stock names above. Regulatory changes are rarely comfortable and never popular, but every once in a while they redraw the competitive landscape in ways that create long-term winners. Schedule M feels like one such moment for Indian pharma. As the industry cleans up its act, capital will follow credibility. And in that migration of trust and scale, the next phase of value creation may already be taking shape. For investors, it is worth asking and finding who will emerge stronger on the other side. Let me know if you found this information useful. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.